The coronavirus, of course, continues to just fill the airwaves and garner the nation's attention as we're trying to deal with moving forward as a country with the coronavirus situation as yet unsolved. I want to talk with you a little bit about where we are big picture in our country in terms of dealing with the virus and in terms of what kinds of leaders in this country are stepping up to try to work on and resolve not just the crisis surrounding the coronavirus and COVID-19, but the larger crisis, the ongoing and dangerous crisis of the attack on America's, just the destruction of America's economy, our culture, our freedoms. So to start with, I was on a conference call this morning with a group mostly based in Washington, and I want to let you know about something that's going to be coming very soon. Their website is not quite ready, but it will be shortly. It's called the Save Our Country Coalition. And the Save Our Country Coalition, the basic idea is going to be that they're going to have 5 or 6 goals and be working. These are big. This is, to be clear, I was very grateful to be invited to be part of this conversation. I am not on this coalition, but it's just leaders of wonderful organizations around this country. And they are talking about the idea we have to deal with this crisis and help America move past it on a variety of fronts. So to start with, one thing I want to mention, Steve Moore was on the call. In fact, I think he's heading up this coalition. Steve Moore was on the show 2 weeks ago, I think. He's a renowned nationally. He's an economist. He was the author, or at least co-author, of President Trump's economic plan, a big voice out of Washington, the Wall Street Journal, and the Heritage Foundation. And he talked about, in the next 6 to 10 weeks, it is going to be a crucial time for America to get on top of this virus, not just to stop the spread, which we appear to be doing. We appear to be, flattening the curve and coming back down. But more importantly, get on top of all of the ways this virus has attacked and harmed our country. So the mission of this coalition, again, as soon as I get the website, as soon as it's up, I will tell you about it. I urge you to go to it to help you and everyone else in America think in bigger terms about what we're facing. So the missions include conquer the virus, of course, is number one. One thing Steve Moore said, though, in connection with conquering the virus is, because we have shut down the economy, we are at economic standstill in this country. He said we have something like 6 to 10 weeks at the very outside to get our economy moving before we get to a point of extreme danger and with respect to our ability to bring back the American economy for a very long time. So it is conquer the virus, revive the economy, restore constitutional limits on government's orders. And, we've been talking about those kind of things, but restore constitutional limits, especially on the orders from governors, mayors, lower level, not the federal level, but the state and local level. Also, regain control of federal spending. One great point was discussed on this call was the idea that at the time President Obama came into office, we had a crisis. We had the economic crisis, and the budget in Congress, because of that crisis, because of so many people concerned about what happened to the economy in 2008, we had a massive budget increase in Washington. I believe the number was spending up by 50% in 2009 to deal with the crisis that we had in 2008. But as all Democrats reliably will do, increased spending to deal with the crisis at that time became the floor, became the basic assumption that we're going to move forward with future budgets based on this one. We're not going to acknowledge that we had a very high budget one year to deal with the problem, but then we're going to come back down. The point in the call today was we can't do that again. We can't do with this budget, with the $2.2 trillion bill we just had. We had other spending bills. Before that, we have more coming out of Congress. We cannot look at the spending we're engaging in right now to deal with the coronavirus crisis and decide this is going to be the base or the floor moving forward. We have to rein it in very quickly. Also talk about the notion of restoring federalism. We have to really be clear the states, what the role they have in our constitutional structure versus what the federal government has. We have to have reliance on the states to move forward in policies dealing with the coronavirus. And the last thing, and the one thing I want to focus on today a little bit more in this first 5 is this. They talked about the idea, the important idea of reducing panic and fear. We have to actually treat as a national goal leaders of all kinds and people like you, my listeners, people like myself doing shows like this. We have to have an actual a targeted agenda to reduce panic and fear. It is rampant in this country. We need to push out the good news about coronavirus because the media will always ignore it. It never will report it. There is in addition to the coronavirus, there's a physical and cultural virus of fear in this country, and the left is spreading it. The media is spreading it, and they benefit from the fear in the hearts and minds of the American people. So it was just a great conversation. This new entity is going to be coming about, Save Our Country Coalition. I also want to mention, I mentioned it once a couple weeks ago, but the Heritage Foundation's also stepped right up. Heritage Foundation has a National Coronavirus Recovery Commission, and they have gathered together experts of various kinds to come up with policy proposals. How are we going to get not just through this crisis, but past this crisis, get America back, bring America back. I asked Matt the Wonderful there was a great meme I saw today. I want to show it to you and then talk with you why I think it's so important. But it's just a little meme someone made up about the kind of concentric circles of how people are thinking about during this crisis. And as you can see, the caption says, believe it or not, it's okay to be all three. People take the coronavirus seriously, and people are very concerned about the impending economic devastation, and people are worried about the expansion of authoritarian government policies. And most of us, you see the me in the middle, the meme was sent to me, but I think it reflects the thinking of millions and millions and millions of Americans. People can be deeply concerned about the virus and want to make sure we're doing everything we can to help those who are suffering, to make sure that our first responders, hospitals, doctors have all the equipment they need. And we want to be sure that we understand the economic devastation to America is the impending disaster is almost impossible to understand and appreciate. People think, and so this mindset that says, well, we'll get through the virus, and then after the virus is solved, then we'll figure out how to get economically back. We can't do that, folks. We don't have time. We don't have time to say until the virus is all gone. The virus will be here, as Dr. Fauci has let us know. It may be seasonal, year after year. They're talking 12 to 18 months at the earliest to develop a vaccine. The virus is already mutating. We're going to have another resurgence of the virus. Some people say in May, some say middle of summer, some say in the fall. Whatever it is, we cannot wait to fix the economy until the virus is all gone. And we also have to be aware that in our country, for the very first time in American history, we've had an astonishing expansion of local government authoritarian conduct, simply mind-blowing in terms of what we normally permit and expect the federal government to do and the state government to do, local governments to do. We have surrendered an enormous amount of freedom in just these last several weeks dealing with this virus and the crisis. And that, my friends, is today's First Five.